Sarah Mitchell, a 31-year-old senior intelligence analyst at the Department of Homeland Security, lives a life of secrecy and duty. Her family has never understood her job. To them, classified just means boring. But when she works from home during a family weekend, her mother innocently unlocks her secured room and exposes top-secret counterterrorism files to the whole family. Sarah has no choice but to report the breach. The raid that follows destroys her family's trust, leading to arrests, estrangement, and a lifetime of isolation. Though her actions save countless lives, she becomes a tragic embodiment of integrity, loyal to her oath, not her blood. The sound of a lock clicking shut was always comforting to Sarah Mitchell. Security, silence, and control, three things her life depended on. Inside her Arlington apartment, every surface gleamed. Two monitors hummed softly. Lines of encrypted data scrolled across one screen. A steaming mug sat beside her keyboard, untouched. She worked like a machine, moving through classified reports with surgical precision. To her, the words top secret were sacred. To her family, they were a punchline. "Come on, Sarah," her sister Amanda had said during their last call. "You make it sound like you're saving the world from your laptop." "I analyze threat patterns," Sarah had replied evenly. "That's literally what I do." "Sure," Amanda laughed. "My patients actually live or die. Your spreadsheets just get color-coded." Sarah had hung up before she could respond. Family love, she'd learned, didn't include understanding. That Friday, she drove home to Virginia for her mother's birthday. One weekend, she told herself. Just one normal weekend. Her childhood home hadn't changed. The same floral curtains, the same creaky step outside her old bedroom. Her father was grilling steaks, her mother was fussing over decorations. The air smelled of warmth and nostalgia, things Sarah rarely let herself feel. "Sarah, you made it," her mother said, pulling her into a hug. "No laptop, right?" "Right," Sarah lied. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, an encrypted notification. She glanced down. Urgent. Level 7 assessment required immediately. Her heart sank. Timing was a cruel thing. That night, while laughter echoed from the dining room, Sarah sat at her old desk surrounded by locked drawers, reinforced door, and military-grade firewalls. The data packet arrived. Intercepted chatter, grainy surveillance photos, Arabic transcripts marked sensitive compartmented information. Her mother's voice drifted through the door. "Sarah, honey, dinner's ready. Give me an hour." "You work too much, sweetheart." "This isn't work, Mom," Sarah whispered to no one. "This is war." Outside her room, the family toasted and laughed. Inside, Sarah typed through the night, silent, precise, invisible. The next morning, sunlight leaked through half-closed blinds. Sarah laced her running shoes, exhausted but satisfied she'd sent her analysis early. She locked her laptop, sealed her case, double-checked the door, and went for a jog through the quiet Virginia suburbs. She didn't know it yet, but that short run would be the last moment of peace she'd ever have with her family. The first thing Sarah noticed when she returned was that her bedroom door was open. Her breath caught. The lock hung loose, metal slightly bent, forced, but not broken. She stepped inside, scanning the room. Laptop, secure. Network light, steady. Then she saw it. Her briefcase open. Her printed packet gone. "Mom," she called out, forcing calm into her voice. "In here, sweetheart," her mother called cheerfully from the kitchen. Sarah's pulse thudded in her ears as she walked downstairs. Her family was gathered in the living room, her father sipping coffee, her brother Kyle flipping through a stack of papers on the coffee table. Her papers. For a second, Sarah's mind went silent. Then a wave of cold panic. "Where did you get those?" she asked, voice low. "Oh, these," her mother said with a smile. "From your briefcase. Kyle was curious about your job, and you're always so secretive. We wanted to see what you actually do." Sarah's gaze dropped to the pages, top secret/no foreign printed in red on every header. "Put those down. Now." "Oh, come on," Kyle said. "We just looked. It's like spy stuff. You're actually cool for once." Sarah's vision tunneled. Her training kicked in. Assess, secure, report. Did you take any photos? Kyle hesitated. I might have snapped one. Just to show Amanda, delete it. Right now. Relax, it's just for Kyle. Her voice cracked like a gunshot. They froze. Even her father looked startled. Those documents contain information about active operations, she said quietly. What you've done is a federal offense. Her mother laughed nervously. Sarah, stop being dramatic. We're your family. Sarah reached for her phone, thumb hovering over the red security alert button. The air changed. It was no longer a family home, it was a breach site. I'm sorry, she said softly. You have no idea what you've done. She pressed the button. Outside, in the distance, the faint sound of engines began to rise. The house exploded into chaos. The whine of tires on asphalt. The crash of doors. The roar of men shouting commands. Department of Homeland Security. Step away from the documents. Her mother screamed. Her father stood, trembling. Kyle dropped his phone, face pale. On the ground, an agent barked. Sarah raised her hands. They're unarmed. My family, protocol, Agent Mitchell. Step aside. Within seconds, her childhood living room transformed into a federal incident scene. Tactical boots on carpet. Rifles sweeping corners. Flashlights cutting across family photos on the wall. Her mother's voice broke through the noise. Sarah, what have you done? I followed procedure, Sarah whispered, watching as her brother was cuffed. An agent approached her. You did the right thing, ma'am. You might have just saved lives. Her throat tightened. Then why does it feel like I just killed my family? She gave her report mechanically. Unauthorized access, photography confirmed, breach time-stamped. Her voice was professional, her heart was in free fall. When they let her parents out, her mother was sobbing. Her father's expression wasn't fear, it was betrayal. Her brother didn't look at her at all. Sarah stood on the front porch as black SUVs rolled away, the sound of sirens fading into the cold morning air. The front door hung open, the coffee table empty except for a single piece of paper, one she hadn't noticed before. It was a photo, taken years ago, the family at Christmas, all laughing. She picked it up with gloved hands, stared at it for a long time, and then folded it neatly into her pocket. Her oath echoed in her head, to defend the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. She had never realized how close domestic could feel. The hearings came fast. Agents. Lawyers. Statements. Her family's names on federal documents. The headlines she couldn't stop but read. Virginia family charged in federal breach. She'd done her job. Now she lived in its shadow. Amanda called once. You could have fixed this, she said, voice trembling with fury. I couldn't, Sarah answered. There's protocol. There are parents. They were informed. They ignored it. Amanda hung up. Weeks turned to months. Sarah's home felt like a bunker, windowless, silent. Every sound reminded her of the raid. Then came the sentencing, her parents, probation, fines. Kyle, prison. The day he was taken, she sat in the back of the courtroom, invisible, unseen. He looked at her once, a hollow stare, neither hatred nor forgiveness. When he was gone, she stood outside in the sunlight and felt nothing. Director Walsh summoned her weeks later. You followed every step correctly, she said. You're cleared. You did your job. Sarah nodded. Your home's now deemed insecure. You'll work only from federal sites moving forward. I understand. Walsh paused. How are you really? Sarah met her gaze. Functional. Walsh sighed. Integrity costs. But so does compromise. That night, Sarah opened her secure laptop. The Operation Sandstone folder was gone, archived. The mission successful. She stared at the words mission concluded until her eyes blurred. Somewhere in the dark, 1,000 lives went on because she'd pressed that button. 2 years later. The federal auditorium was small, windowless. The audience, a dozen officials in black suits, no media, no families. On the podium, Director Walsh spoke quietly, for exceptional service and adherence to operational integrity under extreme personal cost, we recognize Agent Sarah Mitchell. The medal was small, silver, and unmarked. No press release. No applause. Sarah stood tall as the ribbon touched her collarbone. Her hands trembled, though her face didn't show it. "Thank you, ma'am." Walsh leaned close. "You did what others wouldn't. That's why you're here." Sarah met her eyes. "That's also why I'm alone." Later, in her apartment, she placed the medal in a secure case, locked it, and placed her fingerprint over the reader until the green light blinked. For a long time, she stared at the lock. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. It was from Kyle. "Got out today. Starting over." "I get it now. Prison teaches you what walls really mean. I hope you're okay." Her breath caught. She typed back slowly, "I'm okay. Thank you for understanding." Then, after a long pause, she added, "I'm sorry too." She hit send, but the screen stayed silent. Some words, she knew, would never get a reply. Outside, the city lights flickered like coded signals. Inside, Sarah sat alone, a silent guardian in a world that never saw her. Months later, Sarah drove to a quiet park in DC. The air was crisp, filled with the sound of children playing. Life, ordinary, unknowing, went on. She sat on a bench, her badge hidden under a plain jacket, watching strangers pass by. A young woman laughed as her toddler ran into her arms. A man kissed his wife's forehead. Normal life, she thought. The life she could never return to. Her phone buzzed. A message from Amanda. "Mom's been asking about you. She says she misses you. I don't know if she means it. But she's alive. We all are." Sarah smiled faintly, tears catching in her eyes. "That's enough," she typed back. "That's all that ever mattered." She pocketed her phone and looked up at the sky, pale gray, steady. Somewhere out there, unseen, the world she'd protected continued, oblivious. She whispered to no one, "I'd do it all again." The wind shifted, carrying her words into the distance. The lock of her car clicked softly behind her, the sound she'd always trusted most. In that small, secure sound, Sarah Mitchell found her peace. Her oath. Her loneliness. Her purpose. And though she walked away alone, the world stayed safe. That, she thought, was enough. Had to be enough.